Hi, I'm Peri Lyons, and this is A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck Psychic TV. And welcome to Peri Lyons, New York City Celebrity Psychic. I'm very happy to see you. I can see you with my heart. And let me just adjust my kimono here. So, guys, as you probably just heard, my fabulous producer and voiceover guy, Dave Solomon, just read out all of the numbers that you can call in from wherever you are in the world: Canada, New Zealand, Australia, all of the United Kingdom, America. I'm sure there's some places I'm missing. Papua New Guinea. All right, maybe not there, but why not? So call in and I will answer your deepest, darkest, most intimate questions with our trademark accuracy, love, and more accuracy, which pretty much, that's what we care about here. So I'm Peri Lyons, New York City Celebrity Psychic. And you're you, which is a very good thing to be. You are my cherished ducklings. And what are we going to talk about today as we're starting off? I'm going to do the psychic tarot weather in a minute, which is going to foretell the sort of psychic weather for the week. There's a huge sort of super full moon just kind of ending tonight. It's in Aquarius. So since Aquarius is kind of a forward-looking, freedom-loving sign, if you find yourself, I don't know, randomly starting a small, tasteful religion or acting in ways that are more free than you're used to, it's the moon. I'm not sure that will hold up in court, but it's worth a try. So, let's see, what else? We were earlier last week, which is earlier because this week is this week and last week was last week. I'm stone cold sober too. It's kind of a pity. We were talking about psychics in history. We talked about the Fox sisters who founded spiritualism. We talked about the Oracle of Delphi, who advised kings and queens and empresses, and used to do her readings. By her, I mean, there were about 20 of them in a row because it was an inherited position. Either that or you auditioned. Maybe it's sort of like, well, I'm trying to think how you would audition for that. Anyway, the Oracle of Delphi was a very famous oracle of ancient times who was consulted by kings and queens and famous generals. And she would issue her proclamations while suspended in a hammock over a fissure in a crack in the earth, out of which leaked naturally created sort of, how can I put this, hallucinogenic and psychogenic gases. She also drank a lot, and she had maybe she didn't, that's what history says, I don't want to slander her. Kimono check, hold on, there we go. Woo. All right. She also had a little charcoal brazier filled with hallucinogenic and psychotropic, that's our word for the week, psychotropic herbs. So the fact that she could say anything, frankly, was kind of impressive. And this week, just going to touch briefly on the role of intuition in things like science and history, which is going to be more interesting than it sounds, because that's how the bones of King Richard III, who lived in the 14th century, I guess, which is the 1300s, were found in about 15 years ago in a supermarket parking lot. No, nobody had thrown them out of the window. There was a group of archaeologists who knew that he was buried around there somewhere, but by somewhere, I mean like a half-mile radius. And, that's a lot of places to start digging randomly. But one of the archaeologists had this sudden intuitive, we'll say sort of psychic, air quotes, flash. And she said, over there. She pointed to this sort of, they were in the parking lot at Tesco, which is an English, this was in England, an English supermarket. And they started digging, and there he was. I guess turned out to be Richard III, famous hunchback king. We're not sure if that sounds a little politically incorrect. But that's what he was known as in his time. There are also a lot of examples from science history about how, for instance, um, various great scientists came up with huge intuitive flashes, but we'll get onto that next week. This week, I'm briefly going to tell a ghost story, do the psychic weather, and you guys are going to call in, which you're already doing, which I love you for. Thank you for doing that. Okay. So briefly, I'm just thinking about it because today is the anniversary of when this took place. It was August. I grew up in an 1830 sort of converted farmhouse in Valley Cottage, New York. It's now a shrine. No, I'm kidding. But feel free to make a pilgrimage or just send me money. So I was 13 or 14, 13, and this was back in the days when usually houses just had one or two really efficient air conditioners, not like now. And I was sleeping in the top floor in the attic room. It had the best air conditioner, not in my room. I never liked going into that room as a kid because it always had this really kind of, how can I put this? Kind of, well, creepy. It had a creepy vibe. My older brothers slept up there. They were all off at college. So I was sleeping in this room, which I didn't usually do. And I woke up at about 3 a.m, don't know why, and standing next to my bed was a woman. She was about 5'1". I knew she wasn't my mom because my mom had blonde hair and was tall, and this woman had very straight, dark black hair parted in the middle. Also, she was wearing sort of an 1845 dress, like you see in sort of old movies about pre-Civil War times. Went all the way to the ground. It was black and white. And also, my mom's not see-through, and this woman was. And she just stood there for about 3 minutes, right next to my bed. I wasn't scared at the moment. That's the thing about seeing a ghost. I don't know about you, but if you've ever seen a ghost, you'll know that you're usually not scared when it's happening. Afterwards is when you freak out a little. That's okay. So she stood next to my bed, and her energy was very kind of like, how can I put it? Her energy was kind of like, I have to tell you something. I have to tell you something really important. And I sort of went, what? She said, I have to tell you something. I have to tell you something really important. She had really sort of sad, needy, crazy energy. Kind of like party I was at about a few years ago, when very crowded party in New York City. And I stopped to ask some young lady the directions to the ladies' room. She started desperately telling me about her breakup. Kind of the same energy, except she wasn't see-through either, but this one was. So she just stood there and stared at me for 4 minutes and then disappeared from the ground up, like that. So I got up, looked around. There was nobody in the room. And I went downstairs to go get some milk and cookies because when you're 13, milk and cookies are very comforting. Actually, very comforting at any age. And my mother was up. My mother was a very serious kind of, she was an Ivy League history professor, very serious intellectual. And I said, she'd woken up because she heard me walking around. She said, why are you up? And I said, Mom, I just saw a ghost. She said, oh, darling, which is how she talked. Oh, darling, no, you didn't. That was a hallucination created by a storm between the hemispheres of your brain. I'm like, uh-huh. I said, Mom, it was a ghost. She said, well, was she about 5'1" with very long dark hair parted in the middle and sort of a black and white 1845 long dress on? I said, why, yes, she was. Why, yes, she was. And she said, oh, darling, she doesn't exist. I've walked through her twice on the second floor. So that's one of my true ghost stories. I have a lot of them, unfortunately. Anyway, so please call in. We've got some callers waiting, but I like reading for as many people as possible. So, oh, Catherine, there you are in Denver,
Hello.
Colorado.
Hello.
Hi, sweetheart. I'm just going to quickly do the psychic weather. So while I'm doing sort of the tarot psychic weather, I'm going to ask you to think about your question and to breathe in this way. I want you to breathe in deeply and then breathe out slowly like you're blowing out a birthday candle like this. It's not very dignified, but it activates the vagus nerve. I'll be about 2 minutes. So Catherine, I love that name, with K. So I'm going to ask you to just do that for about 3 minutes while I do the psychic weather. And then you, my darling, are the focus of my very existence. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool. Nice to hear your voice. Okay. Oh, so the psychic weather goes like this. There is a card for the first part of the week starting today. Well, that's the next 2.5 days. Then there's a card for the middle of the week. So that's kind of over the weekend. And then there's a card for the end of this week. So like Monday, Tuesday, beginning of Wednesday. Are we cool? All good? Good. Okay. Oh, all right. Oh, that's interesting. The week starts out a little rocky, which I'm not surprised. There is a full moon. People get cranky. Why is this blurry? I'm just going to put it here. Ta-da! So this card is, it's funny, I don't, it's like my phone just suddenly got like myopic or something. So this card is the Five of Wands. Now the Five of Wands can often mean that you're jockeying for position in some way. It can mean that you're kind of maybe having some bumps at work, or you're getting maybe just starting a new job, or in your office or your workplace, you might be having a little bumpy time because 5 is a number of change. And when you're making sort of a good change, often things around you kind of get a little up in the air. People get a little, how can I put this? People get a little cranky. So you might be fighting for position. The good news is you're going to win. And you might be offered something, because this is another card. I'm going to put it here. It's the Four of Cups. Ta-da! And as you'll see, the Four of Cups is a guy sitting under a tree, and he is being offered a golden cup from a cloud. And he's looking at the 3 golden cups he has in front of him, and he's saying, sure, I'd like another golden cup, but I'm a little, can you come back next week? And so this is about, you might be offered an opportunity this week. I love doing that. Where it might seem like it's something that you thought you wanted. I'm getting all pixelated here, not me personally, the screen. But you might feel like, you know what, I'm going to wait for the next time this opportunity comes around. My advice is, if you get offered something good this week, just take it. Even if you're too sleepy, or if it's Tuesday, or if you don't feel like it, or you have to put the cat out, just take the opportunity. It's going to work out really well for you. And the last card towards the end of the week, it's a wonderful card. It's a Healing Triumph. Ta-da! Healing Triumph card. As you can see, the guy is riding a horse who's covered with what seems to be a green tablecloth. What this represents is healing. It represents he's riding home from a battle that has not been fought with swords. There's no bloodshed. He's riding home from a battle about honor and glory. And so it means that something, especially something healing that you might have been battling with for a long time, is really going to work out for you. And P.S., you're going to get a lot of sort of mad respect from those around you. So let's see. So the week starts out, if it seems like it's a little rocky at the beginning this week, it's going to be fine. You're just actually making a change for the better. And sometimes when we change for the better, as the writer Henry Miller said, when you exceed your known expectations, do not expect the approval of family or friends. Middle of the week is you're going to be offered something you might not feel like taking it. Take it anyway. It's going to be really good for you. And at the end of the week, you're having a healing triumph with a lot of respect and appreciation. Thank you. Yay. That's our Psychic Weather Week. Catherine, are you still there, my angel?
Hello. I am. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to speak with you.
Oh, I was so happy to hear your voice. Such a nice voice. Let me make a
Thank
minute.
you.
And I like to,
Grateful. Thank
sure, it's true. I like to connect people through their birthdays. So if you could possibly tell me when your birthday is, you don't have to tell me the year.
April 11th.
Oh, we love Aries in this show. Aries women, yes.
Oh, good, good.
So, okay, my dear.
Yes.
No,
Stronger.
really, I just adore Aries women. But the thing about you guys is,
thank you.
it can be. Mark Twain once said, "If you want to be lonely, tell the truth." And if you ask an Aries, especially Aries woman, a question, just make sure that you're ready to hear the truth because you guys don't mess around. And I love that about you. So how can I help you today?
That's so true.
I know, right?
Thank you. I have a couple of concerns, if you don't mind. I am concerned about my financial world. I've been laid off. Well, I got forced into early retirement for the job that I love. I've attempted another career and got laid off recently, and so I'm curious about my career path, my financial stability, and the love of my life. And lastly, I've been in the hospital for 2 weeks. I'm just getting really frustrated because I'm supposed to be sent to a rehab hospital the last 4 days in a row. I keep getting denied by the insurance. I'm just getting really frustrated sitting here. Like I just want to go home desperately, and I just don't know what to do. So I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit. And I usually take antidepressants and anti-anxiety medicine. They haven't been giving me any since I got admitted about 2.5, almost 3 weeks ago. So mentally, I'm kind of having a little bit of a breakdown as well.
Oh, sweetheart. First of all, it's funny because it almost seems like the tarot weather for this week applies to you. You are going to be out of the. You're in the hospital. You said, right?
Currently, yes.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. But absolutely, I spent so much time in the hospital, and it's no fun. And besides, what is with the food? Like last time I was there, dinner was like, they said it was a hamburger, but I'm like, no, this is fried gorilla heart. I'm sorry, I don't eat fried gorilla heart. The good news is that I feel, yeah, you had a string of really crappy luck, and I'm really sorry. What's interesting is neither of the layoffs had anything to do with you. They had to do with the kind of the company wasn't doing well. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. You do have. Are you? Do you do something related to design, graphic arts, or something like that? I mean, the problem is I'm seeing you working on a computer, but that's
22 years in aviation. No, I spent 22 years in aviation, got forced to early retirement after I had a stroke, and then I started working in the financial industry. After 9 months, I was laid off again. I've been trying to rebuild myself in so many ways. It's just been kind of failing.
But one of my close friends here works in aviation. I understand why I got graphic because I was seeing a blueprint of a plane, but I thought it was like you were designing that. So, first of all, I'm really sorry. Second, let me pick a couple cards for you here. And I really mean that. Okay. It feels too like there's going to be, I think you might have experienced, you said you had a stroke, which really is just, that's such a terrible thing to go through. And I love how totally non-self-pitying you are. You have such a wonderful way of just kind of being in this situation and you're not complaining, you're just stating the facts. And that's such an unusual and beautiful quality. So,
to be honest with you, in
good for
2017, I was brought back from a flat line twice. I was pronounced dead twice in 2017. And I was told I had 1% chance of living. If I lived, I would never walk, talk, or feed myself again. So I'm blessed to be alive as it is. Oh
my God, you're a living miracle. I've had a near-death experience.
Truly.
Well, we have a lot in common, and I really feel for you. What I really feel, and I'm not just saying this to make you feel better, because if you watch the show, I don't really do that. First card I'm getting is the Hierophant card, and it's a weird word. What it actually means, I'm putting it there so you can see it. What the Hierophant card means is that there's some sort of government or institutional or some sort of financial protection coming in for you. You might not be aware of it, but there's something.
I've applied for disability and been denied.
Oh, what? I'm going to go get them.
Yeah,
You
denied
stay
twice,
here.
even though I have a letter from my primary care physician saying I have a permanent disability.
Oh, darling.
But that,
This is a lot.
yeah, it's been a lot lately.
One thing, yeah, no, that's. I mean, you make Job look like an amateur, and I'm sorry because you're a lovely person. I'm very sorry you have to go through this. This is something I've said before, and people have called me and said, "Thank you, I got a lot of money out of this." If you go to your state's website, like I'm in New York, I go to newyork.gov and go to the comptroller's office and look for unclaimed funds, unclaimed property. It's amazing what you can get. I got 10 years ago, I got $16,000 out of that I had no idea. No idea.
Wow, that would change my world right now. Like I'm in an overdraft situation in my bank account. Anything would change my life right now.
So I would try that. Go to I forget what state you're calling from because I have the attention span of a
I'm in Colorado.
duckling.
So go to Colorado and look for unclaimed assets.
Yeah, go to Colorado. Thank you. Yeah, go to Colorado .gov. Go to the comptroller. It just unclaimed funds. It's free. All you have to do is submit, some papers essentially proving you're you, which you are. I can tell. So that's because I'm getting the Hierophant card. I'm also thinking that there are pension funds that you don't know you have.
Oh God.
The last.
That'd be amazing.
Because the heart. Yeah, I would do some research, and if you're not up to it, go on something like Fiverr and hire a kid to work for you for $10 an hour. Okay, 20. And to do some of this stuff for you because you need all your energy for healing. But the unclaimed funds things are really easy. That takes 5 minutes. I just get the feeling that there is money you don't know about. The other thing is you are an extremely proud person and you never ask for help. You don't. I know this about you. And I'm right.
Kind of areas like I'm like true I am. Like I'm gonna do myself no matter what you tell me. Like and it made me. I'm a recovered drug addict, and it made me really great. Drug addicts like tell me no, I'm gonna do it twice anyway.
Yeah, friend of Bill's. I hear you. Oh, I love that. God, you are so strong. The second card I got for you is it's the world card. This is an unusual deck, but what it says is, "Good morning, the world awaits you." So I take it from somebody who have been in I had traumatic brain injury. I couldn't speak for a year.
We have a lot in common. I have a traumatic brain injury as well. I was brain dead for a couple hours. I have a lot of residual brain death. So.
Well, what I'm getting is that the year 2024 is your year. And you are just get through the next 2 weeks because there is money coming in. There are also the reason I said that thing about you not asking for help is there are a lot of people who want to help you. A lot of people who really care about you. You're really, really giving, and you never ask for anything in return. It doesn't even occur to you, and don't even try denying that because I know that's true. So
yeah, without a doubt.
If worse comes to worse, you have an ex-husband out there somewhere?
No, I've never been married. I'm 44 years old. Been single my entire life, and I've always wanted to be, in a typical way, so be a wife. Oh God bless you.
Oh, you've got a long life ahead of you too.
I have a partner that I'm with now.
Wow, you've got at least 25 years. The reason I said there's somebody who you were involved with for a while. It's got kind of this relationship has kind of a marriage energy to it, so it might be kind of a soulmate energy to it. This is somebody who really wants to. There's somebody from your past. Yeah, does that work? Yeah.
There's somebody I've been with about almost 5 years now, and he's in the middle of getting out of a very abusive relationship. But he is, without a doubt, the love of my life. I always joke around that our love is written in the stars.
Oh, I think, he is the love of your life. And luckily, because this doesn't always happen this way, you're the love of his. So, always like to be asked for help. Well, people who love you like to be asked for help. So
Yeah.
we've got 2 minutes.
And
So I'm going to say, yeah.
He's literally saved my life. Like a couple of literally. I had a stroke on the airplane. He was with me on the airplane. He saved my life. So.
He's always going
Both
to be the person. Yeah. I love that he did that. And I love that you something I've never said to somebody on the show before, and I've been doing this for 5 years. Girl, you're here for a reason. If only to inspire other people. You've gone through so much. Believe me, as somebody who, you and I have a lot more in common than I'm going to go into in public, but
it's like we should just be sitting down to have a glass of wine together.
Well, in my case, maybe a glass of milk.
That'd be fine too.
I would love that.
Oh.
But I'm on Facebook. I'm Peri Lyons, PeriLyons, because we've only got 60 seconds. What I'd like you to do is reach out to me, and I'm going to give you a little free time on me. So reach out to me. I'm going to give you a bit of a free reading because you deserve it. And also, there's something I'm getting for you that I don't have time to tell you, but it's really encouraging. So basically what I'm going to say here is you're going to be with that guy you're supposed to be, and you are going to be okay. There's going to be money coming in within 2 weeks, but get in touch with me on Facebook, okay? And
will you spell your last name one more time, please?
Oh, sure. My first name is Peri, P is pneumonia, E-R-I, like periwinkle. My last name is Lyons, Lyons. If you go to my website, PeriLyons.com, yeah, please do. And
I will, for sure.
I've got 10 seconds, so I'm going to send you my love. And I just want to let you know it's going to be okay. It really is. I don't say that if I don't mean it. And I have a really high accuracy rate. Love you.